I'm Chris Savina. I'm here with Todd Orr. Todd, you are an avid outdoorsman.
Yes, sir.
You work for the Forest Service. You're a knife maker.
I'm a knife maker, Skyblade Knives. I build custom knives, yes.
All right.
And also work for the Forest Service, do all their trails engineering, and I'm in the woods every day in bear country.
And do you ever run into anything dangerous while you're in the woods?
I see a lot of bears out there, probably a dozen bears every year, occasionally a grizzly bear, but a lot of black bears. But usually they're running the other direction, or they look at you and then they take off. Hasn't been an issue in the past, but things changed about a year and a half ago.
Now, I know black bears are pretty timid. What happened to change things?
Well, ran into a sow grizzly bear with 2 cubs. I was about 3 miles back in the mountains just scouting for elk before hunting season. And the sow, we saw each other about the same time. She was about 80 yards away, ran over the ridge, disappeared with the cubs. And so I was like, this is great. I'll go up the other trail to the opposite direction and won't have an issue. I took a few steps, heard a noise and turned, and she had circled around the ridge and came in behind me. And I look over my shoulder. She's coming at a full charge, 35, 40 miles an hour. And I just had a couple seconds to pull my bear spray and give her a shot at like 30 feet. And she was right on top of me, bit me 5 or 6 times in my right arm and shoulder. And then the bear spray had gotten to her and she started coughing and choking and she took off. And so at that point, I'm looking at my wounds going, okay, I survived a grizzly bear attack. It's time to get down the trail, get to the hospital, and get some stitches. And I took off down the trail, and about 5 minutes later, I'm kind of along the stream, and it's pretty noisy, couldn't hear much. And I heard a noise and turned, and here she was again about 10 feet behind me. And I had no time to, I had a pistol with me, I had no time to shoot her, I had no time to get the bear spray and shoot her again, or get up the bear spray.
Grizzly bears are big.
They're
How big
yeah.
was this bear?
It's a full-grown female, which in Montana is probably around 400 pounds. It's hard to say for sure, but they're a full-grown bear. It's on top of me. It tear you to pieces in a hurry.
Now they're silent.
They're very quiet.
They walked in. You didn't even hear it 10 feet behind.
I didn't hear her, until she was 10 feet behind me, and the stream was kind of noisy as well. But there she was, 10 feet, no time to do anything. She knocks me down. I'm on my face, trying to protect the back of my neck and my face and my vitals. And her first bite was in my left arm. And she broke the bone here, the ulna bone, ripped 2 tendons out of my forearm. And my whole arm just went numb and was useless. And so I'm just sitting trying to keep in that position. And then she bit me probably 25 times on the right arm and shoulder.
Wow.
Bit me in the right side. I had a claw rake about a 5-inch gash in my scalp, and my scalp flopped over the side of my ear. And my blood is filled with eyes, and here I am just face down trying to protect myself and trying to ride through this and trying to block out the pain. I remember the pain from the first bite, but after that it's like I'm in survival mode, and I'm just keep telling myself, don't move, she's going to leave, she's going to go back and check on her cubs. And so I'm just trying to ride it out and ignore that pain. And I remember my other senses were heightened. I could smell her, how bad she stung, which is terrible. And I could hear the crunching of her teeth going into the muscle. It's just this crunching sound as she would bite. And then she'd pick me up and she'd just shake me. I was like a rag doll, and she'd slam me down and my face is getting smashed into the trail. And I was helpless. Nothing I could do, just completely helpless. And finally, I'm just staying in that position, and she stopped. And that was probably the eeriest part of the whole thing is she's standing on my lower back, she's got me pinned to the ground, I can barely breathe, and she's sniffing the back of my neck. And it's just like one bite into my spine and it could be over.
Wow.
And she would sniff and I could feel the breath there. And then she'd just kind of nip on my shoulder or my arm a little bit, just testing, I think, to see if I was alive or dead or incapacitated. And I just held my ground there, trying to block it all out. And finally it was quiet, and then she stepped off and disappeared. And finally it's like, oh, okay, now I don't know if she's gone. I don't know if she's 10 feet away. My eyes are filled with blood. So I tried to reach for my pistol. I'm like, if she comes back, I need to protect myself. I'm helpless right now. So I reach in for my pistol, and it's gone. It had been ripped off during the attack. And now I have nothing I can do to protect myself. So I reached up, wiped the blood from my eyes, and looked both directions trying to see if she was around. Didn't see her anywhere, but I saw my pistol laying over on the side there. So I dove for the pistol, grabbed, pulled it out of the holster, hammer back, but she was gone, nowhere to be seen. So
thankfully.
Yeah. So it was like, all right, time to pick myself up and head down the trail and get to the hospital.
Now you're bleeding profusely.
I've got probably 25 bite wounds on this arm, broken arm here, tendons sticking out, my face is covered in blood. And my first thought was I just need to get down the trail away from this situation. So for probably 5 minutes, I headed down the trail. And then after I kind of felt a little safer, I'm like, all right, now I can slow down, take a stop here and look at my wounds and kind of assess the damage and if I need some kind of bandaging. And I had a number of puncture wounds, but there was no arteries severed, and I didn't think I was going to have too much of blood loss. So I'm like, I'm just going to continue down the trail, and I get back to the truck. If I need to, I can do some first aid at that point. So it was about a 45-minute hike, probably 3 miles down the trail to my truck.
That was a life and death experience.
Oh, it was crazy, very scary, and just something I hope I never have to go through again.
The
Recovery. Well, I got to the trailhead and had about a 30-minute drive to the hospital. Had to drive myself to the hospital. And I got in there to the hospital, and it was probably 7 or 8 hours of 2 surgeons putting stitches in my arms and trying to sew me back up and get me back together. And then the following day, I had to have surgery on this arm where the tendons were ripped out, had a broken bone.
You had pins in your hands, and
yeah, everything's working well now. But I had surgery in here. They reattached everything, got my wrist to work again. My fingers, I'm not 100% in this hand and strength-wise, and this doesn't quite open, but enough that I'm doing most everything I need to do. I had probably 4 months of PT 3 days a week just to get this movement back, and it's tough, but it's coming along. It's still improving even a year and a half later.
wow.
So I'm going to get there. I'm doing almost everything I need to do now. It's just a few things are a little slower with this hand, but I'm back to shooting my bow and everything else I need to do, and I like to enjoy. I'm back in the woods.
You're a brave man.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Now, your knife company, what's the name of your knife company?
Skyblade Knives is the business, skybladeknives.com. And I build custom knives, best stainless steel that's available. I have a lifetime warranty, have 30 or 40 different hunting, fishing models, a lot of custom designs. People call me and have a design they'd like or a special handle. So,
Okay.
yeah, people can find me there, or they can find me on Facebook or Instagram. And it's just keep me busy, and it's a great business, and enjoying it. Back in the woods as well.
Okay. Well, you can look for this in the coming issue of American Outdoor News, and check out Todd's knives.
Yeah, skybladeknives.com.
They're incredible.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.